What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of Better Call Saul Season 3, Episode 7, titled Expenses. Alright, this was a good episode. Was it great? Was it the best episode of the season? No, definitely not. But it was good. It definitely set us up for what's coming in the end, because we only have 3 more episodes after this one. So I believe that usually the way Better Call Saul does it is these next 3 are going to be pretty, I'm not going to say exciting as far as action goes, but, as far as story development and any plot twists or anything, these are usually the episodes that does it for Better Call Saul. So, alright, let's get into the episode. I was wrong on my predictions, like usual, so let me just I like to put it out there. I like to acknowledge when I'm wrong, because I even though it's very seldom, I like to acknowledge when I was right. So it's only right that I acknowledge when I'm wrong as well. So, the synopsis reads, Jimmy tries to settle his debts, Nacho reunites with an old acquaintance, and Mike helps Stacy with a project and makes a meaningful connection. Alright, let's get the Mike stuff out of the way because it was boring. No, actually, no. Let's not, because that connects to the Nacho. So let's just do Jimmy first. So Jimmy, obviously, still down on his luck. Can't sell these commercials to anyone, it seems. He's been trying to take the legitimate approach and not cheat people out of their money. If you've been paying attention, he's really been trying to be Jimmy and not Slippin' Jimmy or Saul, right? So, but he's failing at this miserably. He can't seem to sell the airtime, at least not for the price that he needs to pay all these people, to pay the studio, all that. The network, whatever, right? Whoever he's paying for the airtime there. So Odenkirk, Bob Odenkirk he's always great and always fantastic in this role. But he did such a fantastic job in this episode just by his face, not even the delivery of lines. Let's put all that aside. Just by his performance with just his facial expressions and everything. All the way, look at the whole episode where he's a man beat down, and you see it in him. You just see it in him that he's a man beat down, desperate, okay? And then when he's with Kim and he's in the bar, now I thought him and Kim were back to their their old tricks, having fun in the bars. But apparently this is a game they play when they go out. They just say basically how they would con and don't actually do it, so that I guess Kim doesn't feel bad about it in the morning, right? If it was up to Jimmy, I'm sure they would be going through with all of the plots that they've come up with. But that was fun, nice scene. I always like seeing them and their connection and all that. I always say that in my videos. I just think it's a good connection that they have, and I just like it. It's more like buddies to me than it is like lovers. But it is what it is. So all right. Alright, so then we see a real jerk, right? Really, really letting this waiter have it. And this is probably the type of guy that Jimmy used to love to stick it to and love to con. The guy that's got money that, looks down or belittles, people that don't have as much money or that aren't in places of prominence or power or whatever, right? So we just get this amazing transformation of Jimmy, going from laid back and relaxed and stressed out a little, right? Well, not relaxed, but laid back but stressed, and to this look of anger and disgust and just like hatred for this guy, but also this strange look of longing and enjoyment, or wishing that things were the way they used to. Something, you get it all from his face. It speaks miles, his performance. That's all I'm gonna say. Great job. Yeah, so that's basically where we got, and we're ending it in a place where we find out, we see Jimmy in there with the tax, the insurance lady, and we think it's all about him until the very end, and we find out that he's just screwing Chuck again, and he's doing it in a Slippin' Jimmy Saul kind of way. underhanded, sleazy con man type of way to get back at Chuck. And you know, you gotta love it. Just want, as an audience, yes, it's just like Walt. He's doing bad things and things that we wouldn't condone and we wouldn't want to do ourselves, even to bad people. But we get such an enjoyment from watching that happen, and it's like we can't wait to see him turn into that monster that we know he'll become, right? And it's just really exciting. It's kind of like, you know, when people slow down by a car wreck, you know, it's like, do you really want to see? Like, do you really want to get a closer look at what's going on there? You know, but people always do it. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it with Jimmy. So we end off in a note where it looks like he's accepted and embraced that he's got to be Saul. To get back at Chuck, he's got to be Saul. To become a lawyer again, he's got to be Saul. You know what I mean? He's got to be Slippin' Jimmy. He's got so many identities, you know. You know, he's. It looks like he's, by the end of this season, if not the next episode, by the end of this season, we should have, maybe not full on Saul Goodman, but we should have a lot closer of a Saul Goodman than a Jimmy McGill by the end of this season. I really truly believe that. And I do think they're going to do 5 seasons. So I think this one is going to be where you're really like, okay, he's a con man. Not, you know, not so much a good guy. Just like in season 3 of Breaking Bad, we were at that point with Walt where we were like, all right, he's really turning into a bad guy. Like, he's not really a good guy anymore. And that's like the perfect arc, right? So then the next one, we'll see him, I think, get involved in like the cartel and the criminal element in season 4. And then season 5 will be full on Saul, which will bring us somewhat into Breaking Bad. I don't think exactly into it, but, you know, close. A lot closer than we are now. Where we'll get Saul in that office with Francesca, the Breaking Bad office, with the commercial we see run in Breaking Bad, driving that car, you know what I mean? Like, we'll get that Saul, but I don't think it'll be like right up until he meets Walt, you know? But hey, I could be wrong. They could do a time skip. Anything's possible. All right, so that's it with Jimmy. Let me move on. I don't want to make this too long, like always. All right, so Nacho reunites with an old acquaintance. All right, in my predictions, I don't think I said I thought it would be the drug guy. Maybe I did. I thought it was going to be Mike, is really where I was going with it. But in a piece of my mind, I was wondering if they were going to bring back that guy. And I'm so glad they did, because he's so funny. I love that dude. He's just so out of his element, and I love the way the actor portrays that guy, the pharmaceutical dealer. So yeah, it looks like Nacho has put together a plan, or starting to put together a plan, to finally take out Hector. Now, Gus isn't ready for this, and it surprised me that Mike helped him, because Mike stopped going after Hector because of Gus. So why would he help? But I guess he figures by helping Nacho do it, he's kind of keeping his hands out of it. So if anything goes wrong, anybody gets caught, any heat comes back, Mike can say, I didn't do it. What do you mean? You know, all I did was help this guy make a drug deal. That's all. So I guess that's maybe his way of like sicking the dogs on Nacho and keeping his on Hector and keeping his hands clean. That's definitely possible. I didn't expect him to make have a relationship with that lady, but now I'm scared for that lady, because she's not in anywhere to be seen in Breaking Bad. So, man, my eyes look terrible. I need to sleep more. Sorry. So she's not anywhere to be found in Breaking Bad, so it leads me to believe that something terrible may happen to her. But it could all just be that she finds out Mike is up to no good and just, you know, says, oh, I don't want nothing to do with you. It could be as simple as that. But, you know, knowing Breaking Bad and Vince Gilligan, and knowing that we're going to have to start to get to some violence and some personal loss for these characters for there to be a huge impact on the drama of the story, with this type of story dealing with crime and criminals and stuff, you know, you need that. So, just like you need people to die from walkers in The Walking Dead, you know, you just need it for what this show is. So yeah, I'm really excited and nervous to see where that goes. But it looks like Mike, again, wasn't gonna go the bad route, but for some reason, he ends up doing, putting his skills to that work. And I really hope they elaborate a little bit better on why he keeps teetering on, I don't want to do this, and then ends up doing it anyway, because they're not really giving us any insight to that. So I really hope we get that going forward. All right, and then lastly, oh no, that's it. Yeah, and Mike helped Stacy, right, with the project. I was wrong about all of that, the whole Mike story. I was wrong about all of it. But I like where they're going with it. Look, Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, they always do a good job. They created these characters. They have an affinity for this world. They love these characters, and they really know how to handle it. So, granted, this wasn't the best episode of the season, but it was a good setup episode, and it really gets me excited to see what's gonna happen next. It's one of those episodes that it's just keeps you on the edge of the seat. So as far as the title meaning expenses, that's it. You see it. The whole episode is about expenses, It's look at it, Jimmy and his expenses with Kim and with the commercials and all that, right? And then we have Mike and his expenses with helping the church. That gets mentioned and all that. And then you see him his money, his stash or whatever and all that. So all about the money and all about that type of thing. And then you have Nacho, and the 20 grand is his expenses to buy the capsule so he can poison Hector. I'm really anxious to see how that plays out. I don't think it's going to play out good for Nacho or Hector, for that matter. Okay, so yeah, the title meaning was self-explanatory. The standout in this episode is Bob Odenkirk. His performance in the bar alone was amazing. Forget about the rest of the episode. You know what I mean? So definitely he gets it. I told you I'm going to stop doing the production standout, because with a lot of these shows, I'm just going to talk about when something falls flat. It doesn't work for me. Loved everything. My favorite moment of the entire episode, when the nerdy guy, in the bar, the whole bar scene, definitely the whole bar scene. My least favorite moment or thing is no Chuck. I like Chuck. He's a great villain. I like him as a villain. I like him as a bad guy. Even though everyone in this world of Breaking Bad kind of teeters, not everyone, but most people kind of teeter between being good and bad. So, yeah. So, yep, I liked it. It was a solid episode. It wasn't great by any means. I'm going to give it a 3. I don't want to give it a 3.5. I think that's a little too low. So I'm going to give it a 3.7 out of 5. And a solid episode. If you're a fan of the show, you liked the episode. If you're somebody that complains about the show or doesn't really like it that much, or is like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to continue to watch this, you probably didn't like last night's episode. You know what I mean? But I liked it. I thought it was good. Yep, that's it for this one. Sound off down below. Let me know what you thought about Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul, Season 3, Episode 7. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions on the episode were, or what you think is going to happen next. Anything at all. Any discussion you want to have Breaking Bad. Again, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul related. Hit me up down below. Let me know what you think about the video. Any critiques, positive, negatives, things I should change, things I should add. Anything at all. Helps me grow as a person as well as a YouTuber. So, yep, that's it for this one. Thanks again for watching. Always appreciated. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.